Hey, welcome to another First Impressions review. I'm Galen May, also known as Revox, doing a preview of Black Death for Bego Games. So, yeah, this was a kind of unusual title that I'd heard about 1 or 2 months prior, and was kind of really curious of it because it seemed like DayZ based in medieval times where like the Black Death run rampant, and it seemed to have this structure where not like it has a class-based system, which is kind of unusual, especially since the classes operate very radically differently, as in not all of them are combat specialists. So, but it's better if I just show you rather than ramble on. So this was actually a pre-release copy. It's coming out on early access on the 19th. Sorry, just having a bit of a problem. It's coming out on early access on the 19th, although the price I will need to confirm with the publisher, which will be in the written preview article. Quick join. Yeah, so hopefully this works. No, it's not. Okay, I'll be back in a moment once I'm in a server. Okay, I'll cut to that. Let's think. Let's go with that. So, let's go into the world of Charlotte Silvers as she tries to carve her name out in this land. So, already, like, you see the obvious kind of thing where it has like a hunger meter where you can starve to death if you're not careful, that kind of thing. What it... Oh my god. Grave robbing. But what it also has, what you might be confused at, is that skull. So, assuming I'm not misremembering things, yeah. I mentioned earlier that it was that Black Death is a medieval DayZ where it's like open world with like where everyone can be a dick to each other. Oh my god, are you serious? So but it's based in the medieval age where the Black Death was still running rampant, hence the name. It's actually not meant to be edgy sounding, it is what it sounds like. Ooh, indeed. Oh wow, so you can actually buy houses in this if I wasn't a peasant and poor. So that's interesting. What that meter is in top right with the skull is an infection meter, and when that reaches full, basically I'm probably going to die shortly of the plague. So try not to get the meter full. By the way, if the graphics look a bit dodgy, what that's down to is the fact that a lot of games in a beta stage tends to be a bit more intensive in terms of yeah, it tends to be a bit more intensive in terms of just how much it takes out of the computer to run it. You know, there's not the sorry, I'm trying to think of the term. There's none of the optimization. So yeah, due to that, basically this game's a bit more trickier to run on my computer than it probably would normally be, even in like early access. So yeah, currently I'm right now heading for that town, by the way, because to be honest, I actually got to try this out at EGX Rest recently, which is a large chunk of the reason why I haven't been doing any video content lately, because I've just been bundled with EGX Res work. But yeah, so yeah, I got to try the game out a bit and was and then remembered that this was a game that I'd planned to look into anyway, so it was one of those weird situations where it was just like, this game's really good and I want to write about it, but it might be better if I actually work on it for a bit. You know, actually put into state like a situation where I actually get to try the game out, go into full depth what it's like, rather than just an rather than a quick explanation of what the game is, which is what I tend to do for Res articles, especially since this is like an open world game. So also you may notice that because it's an early, like not even in early access, it has glitches. So sprint, there's one that I can actually show you really quickly, which I found especially funny, actually, to be honest. See if I can get down to the water without sending my shin bones through my legs. But then again, you can fall surprisingly far and not kill yourself. Basically, I was trying the game out to see if I could get the graphical settings working, and I fell. So you see that cliff over there that I got my cursor on. Sorry, I'm really hoping the coughing doesn't come across too loud in the audio, because I'm actually got a sore throat. But yeah, so that cliff, that, yeah, I think it's there. She jumped off the top of that. Oh, yeah, so that just happened. I guess this is one of those situations where, yeah. So there is a swim mechanic, but if you jump and sprint, you run on water. Run on water. Which is so weird to me. Oh wow, this is pretty nice. Anyway, I'm actually starving nearly. So yeah, so that image model doesn't quite match. Okay, so it's oh, guys. Oh no. Don't need bandages. So as you may be able to tell, the biggest danger you have going on is basically the Minecraft problem of you need food, but where to get it. I mean, peasants have the fortune where they're able to sow crops, but, well, it's finding areas where you can do that. Because I imagine you can't just do it anywhere. Okay. Yep. Ooh, fan stone. So that's going to be really useful in a moment, because I'll show you the crafting system, which is a bit bare bones, but I really hope they actually work on the menu. Oh! While I'm picking up rocks and rotting bread because I'm hungry, so one thing, like, you might have a question of, okay, so, wow, 200, that's a lot more expensive. So you might have questions of, okay, so, say you are a, like, why would you go with anything but militia, considering that you're a peasant? Yeah, just because you're a peasant and you're just kind of trying to find their way and whatnot, and you're probably going to get ganked by the locals. The reason why you don't is because in towns you're actually protected by the local guardsmen, and yeah, you could technically fight them off, but you've got to kind of work out if it's worth it. Which I think early days, basically, this game is going to be a hive of people just killing all the guardsmen, that kind of thing. So anyway, so yeah, I think I'm gonna probably end up starving at this rate. So right now I've actually unlocked 3 skill points, which I think I'll put into Novice Hunter, if it will let me. It might be because I've got that up. Okay, so try that. Yeah, I don't know what to say, just it's not working. Okay, so the intended part about how this skill tree works is as you're doing things such as gathering things off the floor, you... Oh, that's handy. It actually comes back pretty fast. I can live off water! Yay! So, one of the intended thing about this skill tree is basically you level up your XP bar by gathering things off the floor, beating enemies, that kind of thing. And you unlock things, which is basically like you can unlock more active things, like you can craft things better, or passive parts such as your tools lasting longer and you have increased health, and oh god, you're less likely to starve to death, which is really useful, or less likely to get the plague. But there's also another part where it's through this you actually unlock other professions. Really? I mean, okay. trying to do that. Yeah, I'm nearly about to starve, so... Ooh. What was that? Can I cook bread? No. Okay, so that's weird. Just by turning it from wheat into flour, it weighs more. Yeah, I'm starving now. Ah. Yeah, so I'm slowly losing health bit by bit. What do you want? Leave me alone. I got stick. No, 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 no. Okay, run. I annoyed the locals, so this is why you don't piss off the guard, because then they murder you. Although they also have glitches. Okay, so this gives me a chance to show you how the combat system works. So it's split up into two things. So you have the left, right, middle, and transferring from each of the angles requires you to press the button, and then you can also change without doing an attack. Yeah, like that. And basically it's through this, like, if you attack from the same angle, I think it is, you block each other. So that's really useful. Yeah, so I'm actually dying. Red berries! Yeah, I'm hoping in the field, like, eventually though, you'll also be able to, so running near bodies of plague victims increases your infection. I may as well go stab like an NPC. Come on, where's... I'm sure there was an end, like, that stupid bard. Wow, I'm actually really lost in the city. Okay, I'm not so lost, just... Quick! Kill it! Kill it! No, I got whacked in the back of the head. You were killed by a peasant. Become your inheritor. So, quick spawn, see what occurs. Okay, so... I kind of wish... I mean, from what I can tell, it's got a system in place where it's intended that you're not going to really live long. And when you do die, you will lose all the levels that you gained. Which might work with people. I mean, it's a case of it's one of those double-edged swords, because some people do dig it, like the idea of a permadeath, about being forced into a position where you lose all your equipment and stuff like that upon death. And others, like me, I'll admit, tend to get a bit funny about the idea of, well, I just lost everything, thanks. Although at least there is some sense of progression, in the sense that you have the other classes that you can unlock over time. Which, thinking about it, I should have been, so see if I can suicide. You're killed by the Black Death. Oh wow! That's beautiful. That's good. So I'm just gonna quickly change to Militia. I'm sure that's a reference that I'm not remembering. That's it, Black Books. Okay, so now I'm Militia this time about. I'm all about the idea of being able to hurt people quite a lot. I mean, there's no real soldier class, it's just you're a militia or you are screwed. One sec. Sorry, I'm really hoping that Steam overlay didn't just pop up on the recording. Which if it did, I'm really sorry. Yeah, so like now you can see how the game kind of differs. Yeah, like the game differs depending on your class. Oh, that's why there was an odd glitch where all the level 1 abilities were already unlocked. Or at least said they were unlocked. And then like level 2, like ones that cost like 2 skill points weren't unlocked. So I'm currently going back to the capital city because if I recall correctly, there's a thing in place where there's a place to steal swords, and that would be really useful to illustrate like how the militias are a bit better at things like combat. Otherwise, well, we'll see if I can take down a guard using my stick. I mean, the idea is, from what I can tell, where there's like going to be like an interplayer barter system where you'll be able to craft some objects, but the enemy less so. Like the peasant's going to be able to mine ore, which can then be given to the merchant, who can then craft the swords, who can then sell it on to the militia, who can then use it to beat the hell out the poor. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm not so sure if they get a good deal, the poor. So half blacksmithing. Okay, so yeah. Wait. Okay. I mean, it looks like there's skill missing there. I'm going to say unlock half blacksmith, which may be the wrong term. But yeah, it's got a system where you basically go around in a circle, training with everything, and hope that when they do, the militia do take their frustrations out on the poor. This is still here. Okay, so let's see what I can craft. Apparently the crude armor that I thought I could craft isn't about in here. That's a shame. I mean, that's going to be the really big problem when I'm going to be doing the preview of this piece, because there's there's parts missing that will I'm almost certain will probably appear in the final form, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Hover. Boom. Let's eat so I'm not hungry. Nom. Yeah, so it's not a utility problem. Let's drop some stuff for the locals. You know, I just realized how hoarding might occur now, because each class starts off with very particular abilities, so what they can do is just log in, dump the food on the floor, dump the bandages on the floor, die, make a new character, pick up said food and bandages, and then just be on their merry way. Oh, if I had gold. Beautiful. And just like that, nearly we're going to be over the half-an-hour mark, so I may as well go out in a blaze of glory. Let me get my stick weapon, equip, find the loot, find the guard. Yeah, sorry about this going over time, just I want to show off how the combat works in this, in terms of like blocking. There, so not well. You were killed by a peasant. That was clearly a guard, but okay. Anyway, so I'm not going to give this a score like I would normally do, like a first impression score, because quite frankly it's unfinished, and that's fine. It's an early access title, so and reviewing early access titles is a bad move from a journalism standpoint, so but my general thoughts are this. I like the idea, even as someone who's not a fan of DayZ, because I often get my head caved in. I like the idea, but they're going to have to set up a way where players can kind of protect themselves a bit more so, because From town to town's fine in a way, although I get the feeling that the militia's just going to gang up on all the peasants and whatnot. And there's got to be a way around that. Because I think it's the class system that's going to kind of put Black Death in an awkward position. Because even in town, if those guards are killed, which I think they can be, there's literally nothing stopping the militia from going around, burning everything to the floor and stealing what they want. Like, there's no reason not to do that. Like, to just take what you want. So there's going to have to be some things in place where, yeah, you have to be careful in the wild, because you might come across some bandit militias, but you don't have to be so careful because you're protected to some degree. Because after all, I think the merchants and peasants are going to be in an awkward position. So, in terms of prices, as I said, right now I don't know. I think it'll be about 15 quid to 20 quid. If it's 10 quid, I think it's definitely worth a look, because they have a lot of great ideas, just they need to work on them. They need to get it working. Like, I like the concept. Anyway, so we're way over the half an hour mark at this point. Like, even before the loading, like just after loading screen onwards is half an hour. So at that, thanks for watching. As always, comment if there's a way you want me to improve, that kind of thing. Sorry if I sound a bit stuffy because I'm actually currently ill. But yeah, so hopefully I'm a bit better and less stuffy and less coffee. That's a descriptive term for coughing, I think. Anyway, hopefully I'm that next time. So at that, bye. Oh, I'm gonna put this in right at the end, just here. Last note. So, you may be wondering why the resolution's a bit awkward. The reason behind that is, to be blunt, the resolution meter, like the graphic meter's not really working. Like, I can't change the resolution, I can't put it in full screen mode. The audio as well, audio settings just quite frankly not there right now, so that's why things are the way there is. Anyway, this time for real, bye.